month ago, I started a brand new TikTok shop account, 0 followers, 0 content, 0 history, 0 GMV. 7 days later, I generated $32,000 in sales, and a friend of mine who's deep in the affiliate space texted me saying it was the fastest growing affiliate account in the entire United States that week. I didn't show my face once, I didn't film a single talking head video, I didn't have any products shipped to my apartment. I didn't spend money at Best Buy hoping I would make it back. Everything was done with faceless AI content strategy that almost nobody knows exists yet. Today, I'm gonna break down exactly what happened that week, why this method is working while everything else is dying, and how you can tap into the exact same opportunity before the rest of the market catches on. I've been doing TikTok shop for over a year and a half. I've had months where I made 15K, 17K profit. I had my first 1K day in January of last year. So it's not like I was some beginner who stumbled into this. But here's the thing, all of that previous success was with talking head content. And if you've been paying attention to TikTok shop space at all lately, you know that the format is basically on life support right now. Talking head content used to be the meta because it was relatively easy to produce and the algorithm rewarded it heavily. You'd film yourself promoting a product, you would use a good hook, and if the product converted, you could make real money. But the market got so unbelievably saturated with talking head content that viewers started tuning it out completely. The second they see someone's face promoting a product now, their brain just filters it as noise because they've seen it 10,000 times. My views were declining month over month even though I was putting in the same effort. My conversions were dropping even on products that used to print money for me. I was spending hours and hours every single day filming content that performed worse than the same content would have performed 6 months earlier. The writing was on the wall and I knew something fundamental had changed or I was gonna keep grinding harder for worse results. When I was doing talking head content, especially when I was living overseas on exchange, I ran into problems that most people don't even think about until they're stuck in it. You need physical products. And that locks you into a location and a lifestyle that completely defeats the purpose of making money online in the first place. When I was in Singapore on my exchange semester, I was stuck promoting the same 20 products for months because that's all I had with me. Luckily, I was doing gym wear for Young LA, so I could rotate through the same shirts and shorts and make it work. But most TikTok shop affiliates are getting products shipped to their house literally every single day just to have new stuff to promote. If you want to travel or live overseas or be any kind of digital nomad, that model just doesn't work at all. You're basically changing your mailbox, waiting for packages so you can film content. Some of my friends who do human bottom of funnel content like Joseph and Flo, they literally have warehouse shelves in their room stacked floor to ceiling with products. Their entire living space is basically a fulfillment center just so you can post 100 videos a day. And that's not freedom, that is just a different kind of job with extra steps and worse hours. I've been hearing whispers about faceless AI content from a few people in my network who were quietly printing money with it while everybody else was struggling and complaining about the algorithm. The results they were showing me just didn't make any sense to compare to what I was experiencing with talking heads, so I decided to test it myself. But I wanted to do it right. I wanted to prove it wasn't just luck or momentum or some algorithm fluke. I started a completely fresh account with 0 history, no existing audience to lean onto or get initial views from, no algorithm history working in my favor from previous viral videos, no reputation or trust built with TikTok's system. Just a blank slate and a method I'd never even tried before in my life. My thinking was simple: if this works starting from basically 0, then I know it's not just the strategy that's working and not just luck or my existing momentum carrying me. If it flopped, at least I know I can move on. It didn't flop. I'm not going to pretend this was some overnight magic trick where I pressed a button and money appeared. The first day was mostly setup and learning the workflow. I had to understand how to actually create faceless AI content that converts, which is a completely different skill set than anything I had done before with Talking Head. Different tools, different approach, different way of thinking about content entirely. The creation process is entirely prompt-based, which means you're not filming anything yourself at all. You're not on camera, you're not recording voiceovers in your bedroom, you're not doing any of the traditional content creation stuff. You're using AI tools to create the visuals and putting together content in a way that most people don't even know is possible. I'm not gonna get into the specific software here because honestly, if I told you exactly what we use, people would just start ripping it immediately and the advantage would disappear. But I will say it's not the basic image gen tools that everybody has access to like Google's image gen or the free stuff. We use software that has everything built into one workflow, and we're actually developing our own tools now that automate even more of it. Once I understood how the workflow actually operated, I was able to produce content at speed that would have not been physically possible with talking head content. By the end of day 1, I had my first batch of 80 videos ready to post. Here's where my approach was completely different from what most people do when they start TikTok shop. Most people find one product they think that will hit, they make a bunch of content about that one product and hope it goes viral. That's basically gambling with extra steps. I did the complete opposite. I posted 80 videos on day 1 promoting 80 completely different products. Not 80 videos about the same product, 80 unique products with 80 unique pieces of content. Each video is essentially a separate bet on the algorithm. The logic is simple. If you're starting a fresh account with zero GMV, you have no idea what's going to actually hit. Instead of guessing and hoping, you test everything and let the data tell you what works. We select products based on software that filters by what's actually trending in the last week, not by scrolling on the For You page and guessing. I'm not going onto TikTok and seeing someone promote a product and thinking maybe I should try and do that too. I'm essentially just looking for actual data about what's moving right now and reverse engineering content for those products. 80 products means 80 chances to hit the algorithm on day one instead of putting all my eggs in one basket. By the end of day one, after posting all 80 videos, I had already generated a few $100s in sales. My profit was probably only around $32 the first day, but the account was live and products were moving. For a brand new account with zero history, that was a signal that something was working. Day two is when I started realizing that this was actually different. I woke up, I checked my dashboard, and the numbers were climbing faster than anything I'd ever experienced with talking head content in months. Day two, I hit around $300 in profit with literally several $1,000s in sales. The content was getting views at a rate I hadn't seen in a long time, and more importantly, the views were actually converting into purchases. The TikTok Shop dashboard numbers were climbing in a way that felt almost broken compared to what I had been experiencing with my old method. I was posting consistently, but I wasn't grinding 8 hours a day like I used to when I was filming talking head content. The workflow was so much more efficient that I actually had time to analyze what was working and double down on it. By day 5, I'd already passed what used to take me 2 to 3 weeks with talking head. I still didn't have to show my face or film a single video of myself or store a single product in my apartment. By the end of the week, I was sitting at $32,000 in GMV on an account that literally didn't exist 7 days earlier. That's when my friend who's deep in the affiliate space texted me and told me that he looked into my account and it was the fastest growing affiliate account in the entire United States that week. I genuinely did not believe him at first because the numbers felt too good to be real. I thought maybe there was some glitch or he was looking at the wrong data. But when I compared my trajectory to what other people in my network were doing with their accounts, it completely made sense. This wasn't luck, it wasn't some algorithm glitch that would correct itself. The strategy itself was just working at a fundamentally different level than anything else in the market right now. A few days ago, I was still ranked as one of the fastest growing accounts before my account got hit with a compliance ban, which actually brings up an important point. This space moves fast and accounts can get flagged, which is why you just need to actually understand what you're doing and not just copy blindly. Here's what most people don't understand about why talking head content stopped working. It's not that TikTok's algorithm suddenly decided to hate talking head videos. It's that the viewers are completely desensitized to that format now. They've seen thousands upon thousands of people pitch products with the same hooks, the same energy, the same format, the same fake enthusiasm. Their brain has learned to filter it out as noise before they even consciously process what they're seeing. Faceless content looks completely different in their feed than talking head. Doesn't trigger this immediate, oh, do I skip that ad response that talking head videos do. Viewers actually watch it because it doesn't pattern match the sales content they've been trained to scroll past. Their guard isn't up the same way it is when they see a person's face promoting something, which means higher watch time, which means the algorithm pushes it more, and which means more eyeballs and more conversions. It's not that faceless content is inherently better, it's just the market hasn't burned it out yet on the way that they have burned out talking head content. This sounds completely counterintuitive at first, but stick with me because it's actually what's happening right now on the platform. You'd think that showing your face would build more trust than faceless content. Logically, that makes sense. I mean, people trust people, not anonymous content. But the opposite is happening right now on TikTok Shop. People have been burned so many times by creators promoting garbage products with fake enthusiasm that seeing a face actually triggers skepticism now. They see a person on camera promoting something and their first thought is, what's wrong with this product that they need to sell so hard? Faceless content removes that entire variable from the equation. The viewer judges the content purely based on the information in the presentation, not based on whether they trust the specific person talking. If you take me, for example, I'm literally the worst person to do talking head content because I am super young, I don't look trustworthy, and I look like an 18-year-old, and in terms of like gaining trust with talking head content, the older demographic always is gonna have the upper advantage with talking head content, like girls, guys in their mid 40s, or anyone on TikTok, because that's usually how you're selling to. And if you're a younger guy, talking head content is gonna be way more difficult for you. It's actually a cleaner sales process because there's less psychological resistance to overcome. They're evaluating the product and the offer, not evaluating whether a creator seems trustworthy or just chasing a commission. With talking head content, you're essentially the bottleneck. You have to film every single video, you have to be on camera every single time, and you have to actually have the products physically with you. You have to look presentable, you have to have good lighting, you have to have energy. There's a hard ceiling on how much content you can possibly produce because there's only one of you and there's only so many hours in a day. Faceless AI content removes that bottleneck completely. The workflow is prompt-based, which means you can produce way more content in way less time. You're not limited by filming yourself on a schedule or your energy levels or whether you feel like being on camera that particular day. The people I know who are absolutely crushing it right now are outputting content at a volume that would be physically impossible with traditional talking head methods. They're testing more products, they're learning faster and scaling faster because they remove themselves as the constraint. There's also another piece to this that most people don't understand. Bottom of funnel content, which is what most faceless AI content converts completely differently than top of funnel talking head content. You don't need to go viral for it to work. With talking head top of funnel content, you need massive view counts to make money because your conversion rate is low. You're basically playing a numbers game where you hope a small percentage of a larger audience buys. With bottom of funnel content, you're targeting people that are already searching for or interested in the product. The view counts are way smaller, but the conversion rates are way higher. For example, I sold a $1,000 couch and it made me like $80 in commission from a video that probably got 2,000 views. That same video as a talking head content would have needed to hit hundreds of thousands of views to generate the same revenue. You pretty much just don't need to go viral when every view counts. One of the biggest things that held me back when I was doing talking head content was the constant need for physical products. You don't realize how much any of a constraint this actually is until you try to live anywhere or this kind of flexible lifestyle while doing TikTok shop the traditional way. When I was living overseas during my exchange semester, I was completely stuck with the same products for months. Most affiliates have products getting delivered to their house literally every single day. Some people even go to Best Buy or Costco and spend hundreds of dollars on products that they can't get free samples for, pretty much just hoping that they're gonna make the money back from videos. So then they're gambling their own money on products that they don't even know will convert. If a product doesn't hit, you're literally now just stuck with a bunch of stuff that you bought and can't return. And here's something most beginners don't know. If you wanna actually get free samples for products on TikTok shop, you literally already have to have GMV on your account. Brands look at your history before they're gonna send you anything for free, which kind of creates this chicken and egg problem where you need products to make content to build your GMV on a new account, but you need GMV to get products for free. Most people solve this by spending their own money up front and hoping it works out. With AI generated content, you can completely bypass this entire problem. You don't need to wait for sample requests to get approved. You don't need to build up your account before you can promote any good products. And you can promote any product on the platform from day one because you're not waiting on anything physical. This is a massive advantage when you're starting from zero. And now this is where it gets really interesting. With faceless AI content, you can sell products that you would never be able to get free samples for. Products that are just too expensive for brands to ship out to random affiliates. Products where a commission on a single sale actually moves the needle. Again, I sold in a 1,000 GMV couch and made about $80 in commission from one sale. Who's gonna order a free sample for a couch? Nobody, because brands aren't shipping furniture to affiliates for free. But I can AI generate an image of that couch, make content around it, and sell it without ever touching it. Same thing with high ticket electronics like Ninja products, the Ninja Creamy, Ninja coffee makers, expensive appliances. These are products with real commissions that most affiliates can't touch because they can't afford to go buy them speculatively and can't even get samples. When I was doing talking head content, I don't think I was ever accepted for any Ninja products. So if you're doing talking head content, you're basically stuck with the lower ticket products where you're gonna earn probably between $5 to $10 in commission. If you're doing higher ticket products, you can step into the $30, $40, even $80 range for products. With AI content, the barrier is completely gone. You can promote anything on the platform regardless of the price point. Now, I want to be real with you about what talking head content actually felt like on a day-to-day basis, because people selling courses about it do not talk about this part. It wasn't just time consuming, it is genuinely demoralizing. Every day I had to put on an act and pretend to be excited about products I literally do not care about. I was doing content for fitness brands where I'd have to take my shirt off, make fun of myself just to get even more viewer attention. And every day you're pushing and pushing the boundaries for views. One of the videos, I was standing there with 3 different colors of sweatpants, not 1, not 2, not 3, and in between my cuts, I'm in my underwear making stupid faces. Literally doing anything to pretty much go viral. You do whatever you can do to grab attention and keep people watching because that's how the algorithm works. And then every day you're basically incentivized to keep pushing and pushing the boundaries just so you can make a few more $100s. Some affiliates do skits that are just absolutely heinous, the most outrageous, embarrassing stuff you can imagine just to squeeze out a few more seconds of watch time. People talk about TikTok shop that like you don't have to become an influencer, but honestly, the humiliation is almost worse because at least influencers are building a following and get something out of it, and we're just getting the exact same view counts as influencers, but nobody actually follows us or cares about who we are. My boy Levi literally got recognized at Target by someone who had seen him in his videos, and that's how many eyeballs we're actually getting. But it's embarrassing for yourself because you know what you're putting out there, you know what you're saying, and you know you're pushing that claims that are borderline fraudulent just to get the sale. There's this thing called GMV breath or commission breath where you can literally just feel when a creator is desperately pushing a product. And when you're doing talking head content every single day, you start to become that person. With faceless content, all of that's gone. I never have to put on an act or degrade myself for views ever again. I'm not gonna pretend that this is a completely push the button easy because it's not. There's real skill set involved and learning curve to doing faceless AI content well. But the barrier to entry is completely different than talking head, and it's actually accessible to people who couldn't compete before. All you need is a laptop and an internet connection, and that's the baseline. You also need an eligible TikTok shop account to promote the products, which is pretty straightforward. You need to understand the strategy behind what makes faceless content actually convert versus just getting views that don't turn into sales. You need access to the right tools. I'm not talking about the basic image gen software that everyone has. You need to know how to select products based on data instead of guessing and hoping. And ideally, you need access to people who are actually doing this at a high level so you can learn from them on what's working right now instead of figuring out everything through trial and error. Now, I can't give you the full breakdown here because honestly, it would take hours to explain properly, and there's a nuance that doesn't translate well in YouTube video format. But I want to give you a sense of what this method actually involves so you understand why it's different from what everyone else is doing. You're not using the generic AI tools that everyone has access to, the free stuff that shows up when you Google AI image generator. There's a specific approach to creating content that converts versus content that actually gets views. The strategy involves understanding what TikTok's algorithm wants to push right now and reverse engineering content that fits those patterns. It's not as simple as just use ChatGPT to write a script and post videos, because that's what everyone tries and it just does not work. There's a real skill involved to product selection, content creation, and understanding what makes someone actually click buy, which is exactly why most people don't know how to do this yet and why there's still a massive window opportunity. One of the things that actually surprised me the most about this method was how little time it actually takes you once you understand the workflow. When I was doing talking head content, I was spending hours every single day filming, editing, and posting. I was basically working a full-time job on top of already going to university that happened to pay well when things were working. With Faceless Method, once you understand what you're doing, you can generate your first batch of 80 videos in about 2 to 3 hours of actual work. You go ahead and post them, and then you're essentially done for the day. You just check your dashboard, you see what's converting, and you double down on what's working. The ongoing time investment is way lower because you're not the bottleneck anymore. This is why it's actually possible to do this stuff while traveling or living overseas or having any other stuff going on in your life. The person who picks up their phone and watches this video could theoretically pause it, go set up their account, generate their first batch of content, and be making money within 24 hours to 48 hours. And I'm not even kidding, that is literally just the reality of how this works when the barrier of physical products are removed. Now, we run an agency that works directly with 8-figure brands on TikTok Shop, and our entire business model depends on finding and developing world-class affiliate talent that we can actually deploy on campaigns. The better you are at this, the more useful you are to us, which means I have a direct financial incentive to help you actually succeed rather than just selling you hope and moving on to the next customer. If I gatekeep this information and stay stuck doing talking head content that doesn't work anymore, that doesn't help me at all. If I misled you about how easy this is and you fail because you had wrong expectations, that doesn't help me either. The only scenario where we actually win is if you go ahead and learn this skill, become good enough at it potentially to work with us, or at least succeed on your own. That's why I'm being completely straightforward with you about what's happening in the market right now and what is actually working right now. I don't need your course money, I need you to be competent. And those are two very different incentives than most people teaching TikTok Shop right now. Right now, there's a window where AI faceless content is working at an absolutely insane level because most people on the market hadn't caught on to it yet. The gurus are still teaching talking and strategies that worked in 2024 because that's what their courses are built on and they don't want to admit it's outdated. The big programs that charge thousands of dollars are giving people information that stopped working literally months ago. And the people who actually figured out this new method are quietly printing money while everyone else struggles and wonders what happened. And this window won't stay open forever because it never does. And more people learn this method and start using it, competition will increase and margins will compress. This is just how every opportunity works. Early movers always get the best returns. The best time to get in is right now while the strategy is still relatively unknown and the market hasn't saturated yet. The people who've moved fast on this are gonna have a massive advantage over everyone who waits and watches and thinks about it for 6 months. By the time it's obvious for everyone that this was the move, the window will already be closing. Look, I've given you more real information in this video than most people in the TikTok Shop space would ever share publicly for free. I've told you what's working, I've told you why it's working, what to avoid, and how to think about this opportunity. But there's still a limit to what you can actually communicate in a 15-minute YouTube video. The actual implementation details, specific workflows, the exact tools, the nuance of what makes content convert versus what just gets views with no sales. And that stuff takes real training to understand and apply properly. Now, this isn't something you're gonna go figure out watching free YouTube content, including this video. There's almost no public information about how to do faceless AI content well because the people who know how to do it don't have any reason to share it for free. The people making real money with this content aren't sitting around making YouTube videos explaining it, they're too busy actually making money. If you want to learn this for real and implement it properly, you need access to the right people who are doing it right now at the highest level. Otherwise, you're just going to be guessing and trying random stuff and wondering why it's not working. We're going to be hosting a free live training where we break down the entire strategy in actual detail with nothing held back. The last training we did was over 3 hours long and we went through everything: the exact workflow, the product selection process, the content creation method, the tools we use, all of it. If you're serious about learning what's actually working on TikTok Shop in 2026 and you want to tap into faceless content before the rest of the market figures it out, then that training is going to be your best next step. It's not going to be some surface level webinar where I give you 20 minutes of content and then pitch you for another hour. We actually go deep into the strategy, the workflow, and the implementation so you can start applying it immediately. You'll understand exactly why this is working and how to start doing it yourself. If you're still clinging to talking and content and hoping it comes back, this training will show you exactly why you're missing and what you need to do to pivot. The link to sign up is in the description below. 7 days, 30 $32,000 in sales, zero face on camera, zero physical products. That's not theory, it's not luck. That's what happened when I finally stopped doing what everyone else was doing and tapped into a strategy that is actually working right now. The talking head era is completely over, whether people want to admit it or not, and the affiliates who adopt the fastest are going to win in the next phase of TikTok Shop, while everybody else wonders what happened to their income. If you want to learn exactly how this works with nothing held back, sign up for the free live training with the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.